All right, so we're deep diving into this idea of AI like revolutionizing everything. Like, what if it just totally changes how companies are structured? You know, what if we end up with these like super small, hyper efficient teams? It's pretty crazy to think about, right?
Yeah, it really is. And there's actually this leadership model that seems like it was almost made for this kind of future. Founder mode.
Founder mode. That sounds like it's just for like people who actually like start companies, founders.
Right. But the interesting thing is it's not really about starting a company, like literally. It's more of like a mindset, a way of leading that could be super important, especially for design leaders, especially now with everything changing so fast.
Okay, I'm kind of getting it.
Yeah.
But what makes it so different? Like, how is it different from the way most companies are run now?
Well, so think about this. Founder-led Fortune 500 companies, they do like more than twice as well as companies led by people who didn't found the company. That's according to Jakob Nielsen, by the way. He's the one who wrote the article we're looking at today.
Wow, okay, that's a huge difference. So what's the secret? How is founder mode different?
Okay, so Nielsen compares founder mode to what he calls manager mode. Manager mode is all about like optimizing what's already there, keeping the machine running smoothly. Like a good example is Tim Cook at Apple. He's amazing at making things run efficiently.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
But founder mode is different. It's not just about keeping things running. They're obsessed with the big picture, the vision of what they're building.
So like Steve Jobs,
Uh,
like laser focused on where the product is going.
Exactly. And that difference, like that shows up everywhere in
Wow.
how decisions are made, how much risk they'll take, all of that.
Okay, I'm starting to see the difference. But, if this is all about like vision and big picture stuff, isn't that more for like CEOs or product people? Where do design leaders fit in with this whole founder mode thing?
That's where it gets really interesting. Nielsen says even though founder mode might like come naturally to CEOs, it's something that design leaders really need to learn too. He actually says that design leaders should think of their design team as like its own product.
Wait a minute, their design team is the product? What does that even mean?
He's talking about changing how you see things. Instead of just focusing on making good designs, a design leader in founder mode is thinking about how design as a whole fits into the company.
So it's like the design team is its own little startup inside the bigger company.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. The market is the rest of the company, and how well design works with everyone else, how well it meets the company's needs. That's the fit.
So it's not just about being a good designer. You have to be a leader who can convince everyone that design is valuable. Make sure it's working towards the same goals as the rest of the company.
Exactly. And to do that well, you need a lot of those same founder mode traits. Clear vision, fast decision making, and you got to be willing to take some risks. So it's really a totally different way to think about it. And Nielsen gives us some really good examples to show what he means. He talks about Steve Jobs, right, at Apple. I mean, he was like the perfect example of founder mode. He had this like crystal clear vision of what Apple products should be, and he wasn't afraid to like make these big decisions, even if everybody else thought they were crazy.
Yeah, like when he got rid of the floppy drive on the iMac,
Yeah.
everybody thought that was nuts, but it turned out to be a genius move.
Exactly. And then Nielsen compares him to Tim Cook, who's more of a manager mode kind of leader. And sure, Cook has been super successful, but you could say that Apple hasn't been quite as innovative under him. Some people say that anyway.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
So even if you're not the CEO or the founder, you can still use this founder mode thinking, in your own area, especially if you're leading a design team.
So how do you actually do that? How does a design leader make this founder mode stuff work in real life?
Well, Nielsen talks about how important it is to really define what your design team's product is. Like, what value does design bring to the company? Maybe it's the design system. Maybe it's the user experience of the products. Maybe it's the whole company's brand identity.
So then you have to figure out who your market is.
Yeah.
Which would be all the other teams and people in the company, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you have to make sure that your design product is actually meeting their needs, that it's helping them get things done.
So like a design leader in founder mode, they have to be like a salesperson for design inside the company, always showing how valuable it is and how it can help the company succeed.
Exactly. And to do that well, you need a lot of the same skills that you see in those successful startup founders. Clear communication, strategic thinking, and you got to be good at building relationships.
And it sounds like you need to be brave, too. Be willing to take some risks. Because if you're always pushing the limits and trying to change things up, you're going to run into some people who aren't happy about it.
That's true. But like we've been talking about, those are the same things that make companies innovative. And those are the companies that succeed in the end. especially now, with AI changing everything.
This has really got me thinking. So, for all our listeners out there, especially if you're leading a design team or really any kind of team, what's like the most important thing to remember about this founder mode thing?
Hmm. I think the main thing is that leadership, it's not just about your title or what your job is, it's a mindset. It's about taking charge, having that clear vision, and being willing to put yourself out there to make it happen.